What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we are going to go over the charts today, see what's going on. We'll take a look at what we were expecting from yesterday. I do want to go over this rising broadening wedge that we've been talking about forever. I'm going to go back to a video that I made on December 2nd that was kind of explaining what I was looking for as a possibility. I was warning people something to look at, and let's go into that real quick. Before I do that, if you guys would take a second out, smash those likes, and yeah, just make sure you smash those likes. Glad y'all could make it, and let's see what's going on. I'm looking for my wave 2 right here, looking for wave 1 to end, then looking for wave 2. But what if none of this happened? I'm going to and remember, this was made back on December 2nd. I hope you guys can hear the video too. So anyways, let's show you some charts that are very interesting. Now, you guys know what the Dow is doing. I think this looks very... We'll be taking a look at this Dow chart also. We're also going to take a look at the DXY, Ethereum, LITECOin, XRP. Take a look at what's going on in the market as a whole and what it seems to be telling us. I've been talking about this for a long time. If you're playing in any of the markets, you should be watching them all as a whole because they kind of put a puzzle together. So we'll be talking about that. Very similar to the top we had before the COVID crash. Notice those tops look very similar, and that was December 2nd. We're going to take a look at what it looks like now. So later on in the video, we're going to take a look at this stuff real quick. Now, this is the Amazon chart, right? And you can see Amazon in the dot-com bubble. This is back in 99, the big dot-com bubble. And if you remember, when the dot-com bubble was out, there were plenty of other dot-com things besides Amazon, kind of similar to Bitcoin and then all the altcoins. Okay, so you guys know the point I'm trying to get across with that. Now let's look at what else I show in here. I think I showed right here. This is on the weekly chart, guys, the weekly chart. Same thing with Bitcoin. This is the weekly chart. And that was when we were way back up at almost 57,000 when I started talking about it. See the similarities. I'll bounce back and forth a little bit. If I move this over a little bit, you can see. But you see the similarities. So anyways, let's look at that chart where we're at today. That was way up here at around 57,000. And you can see where we're at now. And it is starting to look like it's playing out. Now, again, guys, there's nothing that says this has to happen and is going to 100% happen. I've explained before, just a lot of things are similar, including the atmosphere. Back in here, even Michael Saylor was getting all into this, hyping it up, and I showed you yesterday what happened to his company during these times. But anyways, it's the same type of stuff with all the hype and overhyped, and you know, a lot of scams were made during here in the dot-com bubble, and they all got washed out, and it took 10 years for it to break this high. But we're watching this now for this orange trend line, and right now, if it was to come back up, the highest this should go is around 43,000 without invalidating this. So we will be keeping an eye on it. But remember, like, even this peak here was higher over here. They don't have to play out exact, but it is looking very similar. We're going to keep a close eye on this chart. Make sure you give me a follow on Twitter. The handle on there is @CryptoSavvy1. Also, there's a free Discord down below. Definitely check that out. It is totally free. But you can see all the similarities, and I went into it in more detail yesterday if you want to go into that and go check it out, or check out the video from December 2nd. But this is the weekly chart. I know a lot of people are talking about this being a possible channel here. It's a possibility. We did get a bounce right off the bottom here, but as you guys know, these are the areas I'm watching. This is at 43, and we could actually move this down a little bit now. To around 43, 43.3 would be where the EMAs are lining up here. Remember, on the RSI, we got our rejection here. We were expecting, if a candle opened and closed a weekly under this 55 EMA, the next candle was going to be bad news. This is the area I am looking for. around the 22 to 24,000. Now, if we get, no matter what, I think we'll get a bounce there. But even if it bounces, I think there is a very big chance. Like, say we get down to here. If it does bounce, we'll probably retest this area before coming down further. Most likely because everyone is going to be expecting a bounce in the low $20,000 range. So obviously it's probably going to bounce there. Some people are going to take profits. Again, guys, that's if we go down there. We have to break this 32,850 range to 32.9, depending on how long. And this is the weekly chart, guys. So we have 4 days left before this weekly closes. Actually, our daily just closed. How does that look? We're gonna zoom in real quick, and then we'll take a look at this chart also. The daily, that doesn't look very bullish, guys. We'll see what happens here. We'll go into the smaller time frames also. Could get another bounce up on the daily for tomorrow, maybe test the top of this falling channel. Now, if that breaks, we could be coming up for, that could give a nice push up into the higher areas, depending on where this goes on the RSI. But we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. I still think we're probably going to get at least one more lower low before a bounce. But remember, there's always going to be bounces. Even if this is a bear market, there's going to be bounces. We talked about that yesterday. And I'll go over that again real quick. Like back here in 2018, every bounce here, everyone thought we were going to a new all-time high every time. So we had this bounce here, so everybody was super bullish, right? And these are why we call these bull traps. Everybody got super bullish. It was going to be a new all-time high. Then they get stuck up here, right? So there's a bunch of people that came back down. They thought that they didn't sell. They were mad because they didn't sell the top. Down here, they're like, oh my God, if it gets back up there, I'm going to sell it. So it gets up here, and then they're bullish again. They totally don't want to sell anymore. That's where emotions come in. And then it dropped again. And then down here, oh, I wish I would have sold up there. And then it starts popping back up. And then everybody gets bullish again. And then they get stuck in this one. So on and so forth, all the way down, and just over and over and over. Emotion will kill you. And guys, you got to remember, a lot of everybody's situation's different. Don't be putting more than you're willing to lose in this. I don't care what anyone says. Everybody says, but no matter what, Bitcoin's going to go up in the future. That there's no guarantee. I'm not saying it's not going to. I'm definitely not saying that. It has a good probability that it will continue on, but it does not have to. Not like people think. They think it's going to go up every, 4 years. So I showed you the longer term chart that we could be in a 10-year cycle yesterday. Take a second out. Don't forget, go down to the bottom under the video, smash that like, guys. I'd appreciate it. We have almost 300 people in here and only 100 likes. Take a second out, smash that like button. So this is the 4 hour. We talked about this yesterday. This was my target for a rejection. We got a little bit higher. It was 38,471-ish, and that was this trend line here, drawn off of these wicks. We did get a wick above it and then came right back down. Now, I know everybody's talking about the Fed meeting, this and that, but guys, all the news is in the charts. I've talked about that over and over and over and over again. I was expecting maybe some bearish divergence here. We did not get it from this high to this high. We did get it from this high to this high. Now, we could get one more run up, maybe test this area of 41.7 if this wants to continue up. The area you're going to want to watch now, I'm going to take this off. You're going to want to watch, if it does get back up here, watch for a rejection around 38. Start looking for a divergence in this peak here with the next peak. That'll give you a clue if it is going to get rejected again and come down. But that's the area you're going to want to watch now. 38,350, 38,360, depending on how long, if it even gets back up here. But we're going to take a look at the 1 hour also. But if it does get rejected and it cannot get back above here, once we get back above here and get support, then we could be going up to retest this area up here, that 43,000 range that we talked about. Now, if that breaks, then you could look at the bullish case scenario and maybe going back up to, as high as $60,000 range. But if this is the case, and this is what it was, is the falling wedge, and we broke it, the measured move of that lines up with that daily measured move. And I'll go back over to that chart. The daily measured move is right here. This was the falling or the rising broadening wedge that we had talked about forever. We talked about if we broke 51.5 that it was going to be bad news. Obviously, it was bad news, but that target is around 23.6. And that does not mean we shoot straight down, guys. None of this, even though it seems like it at the time, none of this is shooting straight down. There's tons of time. This took tons of time, bounced around forever. But this is the target for this wedge, and all that is. And a lot of people ask, where'd you learn to chart? Well, I'm self-taught. And if you just go over a lot of my videos, even ones that are very old, I try to give lessons on how I, come up with all this stuff. Like the Elliott wave count, I had made a video on this whole structure. I thought it was going to go a little bit lower, which it didn't. But I thought it was going to go a little bit lower than it did. But we had this all marked out, the wave 3, 4, and 5. Like I said, I thought 5 was going to go lower, but we had all these targets from back here in May. So we'll go over some past videos if you guys want to after this also, and I'll get into the chat a little bit. But that's the measured move target of this, around 23.3. And then if we look at where we're at in the 4 hour, and you look at the measured move of this falling wedge here, that is around 22.5. So somewhere in that range could be where Bitcoin is headed, unless we get back inside this wedge and get support up here, and then we come up to this range. Like I said, showed you in the other chart, around 43 with the Amazon comparison chart, that would be a possible invalidation point. We'd have to see what happens if and when it gets there, but as of right now, this seems to be where we could be heading in the medium to longer term. This could take months, could take weeks, could take days, depending on what happens. So let's look at the 1 hour. So in the 1 hour, we talked about this yesterday. It ended up showing a ton of bearish divergence, higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI. That was a good hint that this drop was coming. Now, could it continue back up to the top of this wedge? That's another possibility. And where would that be if you looked at it on the 1 hour like this? Would be somewhere around this range. And that would kind of say we would need to get a rally in the traditional markets tomorrow for this to happen. But if that was to happen, I would expect a BC. I can't really say that. This is going to be more. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. I don't think that doesn't line up. Yeah, I like to use wicks. Some people use bodies. You don't want to mix both, though. That is for sure. Let me turn the computer sound off there. But let's see. If we were to come back down here, drop back down, we would be looking for around the $32,000 range. Now, what you're going to want to watch for is more divergence down here. You can see as right now we have bullish divergence. We have lower or hidden bullish divergence. We have lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price action. So there is some bullish divergence. So this bounce, that's one reason you would expect this bounce, but now you could draw a trend line, and this is the hourly chart, guys. So it's not, predicting a week ahead. It's for the more immediate. So look for the RSI to get a rejection on this trend line here. Let me move this out of the way. Right across here, draw the trend line across. Look for a rejection there, possible rejection there. Might come up and test these highs again, depending on where that happens. But then watch for some divergence. You'll probably see a rejection at this 1 hour. And most likely, we're probably going to go back down below these areas, but we'll have to watch and see. If you guys are interested in trading, check out Prime XBT, my favorite exchange. They don't trade against you like the scammy ones. You can trade Forex, gold, silver, crypto, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, all on one exchange. You can have multiple trades in, longs and short, in the same asset at the same time without them clumping them together like the scammy exchanges. Definitely check it out. I do have a tutorial on it right here. There's also a link down below, Prime XBT. Savvy 50 will get you up to a $7,000 bonus. Savvy 25 will get you 25% off your fees. Also down below, you'll see my wife's webpage, inkyourimage.com. Definitely check it out. That's a great way to help support the channel, along with taking a second out, smashing that like button, and make sure your notification bells are ticked, guys, because I'm probably going to start throwing some quick recorded videos out during the day, and then a couple times a week doing live streams at night. That's probably what I'm going to be end up doing. Just make sure your notification bells are on. So this is the Dow Jones back in the .com bubble, and this is where we're at now. And if you see back here, you see the big dip that matches up pretty good with this, the March 2020 dump right here. And then we had this wedge up top. Looks pretty much the same as what we're getting right here. Now, let's go into the 4 hour. We've been talking about this wedge a little bit more in depth here. We did break below the wedge, and we are back above it now. We're actually getting support on the bottom line. So that'll be something you'll definitely want to watch tomorrow in the traditional markets. If it does end up getting a bounce here and a rally up, I don't think it'll be going to new all-time highs. You'll want to be watching in here for divergence also. This is on the 4 hour, guys. But a break, I think the next time, if we do have a 4 hour open and close below here, or actually let's say a daily close below this 34,080 range, that's going to be pretty bad news for the Dow. And what I was looking at also, let's go back over to daily. If we look at the daily, if it was to play out something like this, and guys, again, they don't happen exact, but the drop from this top, and like I said, a lot of stuff's matching up, the .com bubble, the crypto bubble. This time matches up a lot with this time over here, and we had around a 38 to 39% drop over a period of, what, 2 years? But the .com bubble happened in here pretty hard right in here. So, but anyways, if that was to happen here, we could be looking at as low as like a, what would that be? A 22,000 point Dow. Definitely a possibility, guys. We were there not too long ago, a few years back. So be cautious, be careful, be skeptical on everybody you watch. Don't trade off of people on YouTube, including myself. I'm here to show you my opinions, why I have them, and what makes me think that. And then it's up to you to make up your own mind. DXY, we haven't looked at this in a few days. Or we might have looked at it yesterday. Most of you guys, if you watch my channel, you know I've been bullish on the DXY, on the dollar, since down here. I know everybody's talking about inflation, blah, blah, blah. But as you can see, the power of the dollar is strengthening big time. We were expecting this big move. I'm still expecting more upside. I've had these targets here for almost a year, 97 and 98. I still think we're going to go there. And in the big picture, over the next years, if the dollar continues up like I believe it will, we look at the weekly chart, and here is the big picture. This is from 96 peak. This is from right before the .com bubble, and this is where we are now. If we were to get back up here, it's going to be around the 108 range, 108 points for the DXY. So I'll be watching out for that. It does look like a sort of like an Adam and Eve here, definitely a double bottom area. It could go much higher too, but this is where I'd be looking for a rejection in the next few years, probably 2023, because that is where Bitcoin would bottom in 2023, August or September, somewhere in that range, would be the bottom for Bitcoin if it plays out like the .com. Ethereum, this chart is, going on 3 months old now, and we had the first target at 32.25, said if it broke, and I'm only going over these on a daily because they're playing out perfectly so far. And then we talked about this 25.59. If that broke, this should be resistance, which it is proving to be resistance right now. If we start opening and closing, getting support on there, then we may go test that 22.250 area again. But as of right now, this 25.59 does seem as resistance, and 18.50 is the next line of support. Could see a much, much, much lower Ethereum if Bitcoin is truly in a bear market. Litecoin, there's another one. This chart is from back in November also. We talked about, we broke this trend line, we were going to test the next trend line, and that's right off of here, which we did. Now this becomes resistance, the 113. If it can get back above this and get support, then we could get another push up. But as long as we're below 113 and Bitcoin is in a bear market, we could be seeing a very, very cheap Litecoin. And XRP, Same thing, guys. This is a very old chart, very old chart. In no way, shape, or form would I get bullish on XRP unless it crosses way up here, over the $7, $8 range. Once we cross that, then I'd say you could get bullish on it. Until then, I would think its best chance of a run up would be around this 84-cent range, but I'm still thinking we see a much, much lower 20, mid 20 cents, maybe even lower, depending on how the bear market acts. And if you remember, I talk about the altcoin crap projects need to get washed out, just like the shitty.com projects got wiped out, but that took years. So that is what I'm looking for. I think that would give Bitcoin a time to shine, getting rid of all the crap, because all that money would eventually go back into Bitcoin, which would be pushing it up for the big long-term bull. Like right back here, this is that bubble right here. This is the Amazon bubble. You can see what happened after 10 years when it finally broke this, and it doesn't have to take that long, but you can see what happened if that was to happen, because all that money that was going into all that crap, they sat in it, lost all that money, it came back into, you know, a good company. And I know people say Bitcoin isn't a company. Charts are based on human emotion. I say that all the time. Human emotion just repeats through time. It's what. All right, let's get into the chat, see what you guys got to say. Hold on a second. Hold on. I don't know if she's watching. This is my wife, guys. Sorry about that. All right. Joshua Parmalee, Savvy, I share your channel quite a bit. Awesome TA. Thanks, man. I really do appreciate that, and thank you a lot. Anybody, if you would, share the videos, get them out there. And again, nobody knows for sure what's going to happen in this market, but I'm here to show you my ideas, what gives me my ideas, and how I get my ideas. And if that helps you, great. And I know a lot of people that it has helped, so for that, I will keep doing it, because that's my whole mission. I'm not here to feed people, you know, hopium and garbage, and I'm trying to give you a realistic look at the markets, without all the silly distractions and crazy, you know, trying to hype people up or trying to, you know, none of that crap. I'm just here to give an honest look at the markets and honestly tell you what I see as possibilities. Not promising you anything, unlike a lot of people out there. So just be cautious, guys. Oh, great analysis tonight. Easy to understand. You've gotten a lot better since last year on streaming live with your thoughts. Thanks, man. It is tough. Like you guys are, you know, listening to the chat or whatnot, but to me, I'm sitting here in a studio talking to myself. That's, you know, it's hard to get used to that. It's hard to, you know, get my points across without, you know, mind wandering, and not like actually sitting down and talking to someone. Although I do feel like that in a way, you know, that in a personal way, I'm actually talking to you when I make these videos. Just sharing my ideas, trying to help, trying to show how I see the markets and show the possibilities I see. Like I said, the bullish case, this doesn't break and it continues back up, which is a possibility. That's just not what I believe is going to happen. I know you've helped me be a better trader. Thanks, Savvy. Thank you, S Hall. 100% on point. Thanks, Brian. Natch said hidden bearish divergence and zero volume between here and 40. I'd be looking downward for a bit, for sure. You're welcome, Ali. Jeffrey. Thanks, man. Joe. Hey, Savvy on the weekly. Is it hidden bullish divergent? Yeah, I talked about that yesterday, and we can look at that on this chart. Everybody talks about this bullish divergence. We had the same thing right here. I showed it in yesterday's video. This was a higher high in the price action, lower high in the RSI, and you can see what happened. Eventually, it just broke. So you can't put 100% on that. All this stuff is lining up perfectly so far. We'll keep an eye on it and see if it keeps going this way. You follow the liquidity charts. No, I don't. What's up, Edward? Thanks, Coin Daddy. Chris O, random question. Will you ever bring on other influencers into your live to discuss the market? Actually, Tom Crown and me were talking a while back. We were supposed to do one at the end of this month. I guess I could get back with him if you guys want to. Give him a shout out on Twitter, ask him about it, and you know, after the feed, maybe I'll get with him and we'll see if we're gonna get together and do that. Almost took a loan out to long Ethereum. I'm so glad I didn't. Hey Craig, you ever heard of XO charts? No, I haven't. Oh, another thing I wanted to look at, almost forgot, is you guys know I've been looking at this. I'm kind of figuring this is on the daily, and this is what I'm waiting for on the daily. You'll notice, you'll notice strong buy signals and sell signals on the Lux Algo here. There's a link for this indicator underneath the video also with a 20% discount. If you are a serious trader and understand indicators, you might want to check this out. But this is what I'm watching so far in the daily. If you look down here in the daily, they use overbought and oversold. You'll see the green boxes down here are oversold. Then you have overbought up top, the red boxes. And when these line up, like back in here, these ones did not line up with the oversolds on the bottom here, which they weren't very good bounces. You'll see over here, and you won't catch the exact bottom with it, but this is damn thing's been pretty accurate the way I'm looking at it this way. And I'll start getting into it in smaller time frames too. But you'll see where this one, it was about 33.2 where the long came in, and it showed the oversold at the same time. Same thing right here. Like I said, you won't catch the exact bottoms or the exact tops, but that was a strong buy. Right here, it's a strong buy, but you didn't get the oversold down here. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. Like I said, I'm new with this indicator. I'm kind of looking at it, how to use it towards my strategy. There's so many different adjustments on here. I will be making some changes with adjustments and stuff, but so far so good. I'm liking how this thing works. So definitely check that out. Also, if you're not trading, then there's no reason to buy any indicator. But if you're actually trading and you want to start, you know, getting some more confirmations from some other indicators, you might want to check that out. Dallas Brass, you're doing great, Savvy. Looks like 200K Bitcoin is out of the question for 2021. Yeah, I'd say so, man. Oh, let's the red waterfall come. Well, if we zoom in on the hourly here, let's look at the hourly. See where this closes at. We're halfway through the hourly. If this closes, we may get 3 white soldiers here. And 3 white soldiers are 3, you know, green candles like this in a row. May get a little bit up. It doesn't mean it's going to continue forever. But remember, guys, there's always bounces. If this just went straight down from here in one candle, I would be calling the bottom, because whenever you have a huge capitulation like that, that's usually a sign of the bottom, and then you get a huge bottom wick. So I don't think it's going to be super bad anytime soon. Looking at this in a 4-hour, we may range in these areas for, you know, another week or two is very possible. But like I said, I'll keep you updated on what I'm seeing on Twitter. I pop in the Discord here and there if I see something. History will repeat. Getting ready this time. Come on down. Hi, Savvy. Thanks for your great content. But remember, I think there's a very good possibility that the Amazon type chart plays out, because basically what this is a bubble pattern. Could it be a bubble pattern pop? Definitely possible. But in the bullish case, I still think we would get down into these $20,000 ranges. And I talked about this being a big ABC correction. It is very possible. That's what we're looking at. But until proven otherwise, I am going to keep watching this Amazon as the big deal. But remember, it does not have to go below, you know, everybody thinks 20,000 a hold, and we talked about that yesterday. And it may not break below 20,000, but usually when people think that something's not going to break, it'll cut through like butter, like the opposite over here. This 6,000, people are talking about it to take a year or more to break 6,000. It broke through it like butter. So keep that in mind. Like I said, nobody knows 100% what's going on, guys, or what's going to happen. All I try to do is give you another way to look at it. And if you want to be bullish, you can watch pretty much anybody out there is super bullish, or they always. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to predict the future here. One of the Bitcoin perma bulls or boom boys are going to find an indicator or something that is showing that it happened last time and it's going to go up, and this is why. And then you're going to see them all talk about it. That's what happens. Like I said, you watch one moon boy, it's copy and pasted of another. They all say the same stuff. It's like they don't even really do their own analysis. They just copy off each other and try to get the views that, you know, they try to get all the views that the other person's got. And it's literally copy and paste videos. It's crazy. What's up, Eric? What's up, Crypto Bunny? Rate hike March 25th or 50% basis points, 25 or 50% basis. I don't know. I really didn't watch it. I knew about it, and I figured there would be some reaction at that point, which there was. But I don't really pay attention too much to that. Blockchain backer is different from the rest. He has a pretty cool plan for himself. Yeah, he was 100K-er though, man. Trading isn't the thing. Make them money. Add revenue from YouTube, BTC shilling. No A wave. Summer low. Downtrend is a C wave. You know, I talked about that a long time ago. That was like the video I showed you today. If we go back, I talked about that before this part, and you can see right here. And that's what I was looking for at first, but things change right here. Looking that's for wave one and then looking for wave two. But what if none of this for a long time? But I'm really looking at the bubble pop scenario. Although this is still a possibility, and if you go over to that daily chart, I think I still have it down here. Yeah, I was looking for, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Is this on the log chart? No. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this, was originally what I was looking for, and it could be. This could still be what we're looking at, but I don't know. It's not looking so much like that anymore. Let's go zoom in here. But that's what I was originally looking for, and honestly, if it would have got the bounce up here, I think that would have been a better. That's how I was expecting it to go. Until I found the Amazon before this broke. Then I started looking at that route. But, you know, it could be something like this. But I still think we see. Now, that would be the bullish case. We get down into this area, maybe summer this year, and go up. That is a possibility. Although I don't think that's what's going to happen. Not with all the stuff going on. But we'll see. It's definitely possible. Let's zoom back into that 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, you're going to want to watch this trend line right here for a rejection. Davy was the DXY high at the Amazon low of .com bubble. Let's take a look at that. Amazon low was September 01. Look at the DXY. September 01. Yep, would have been up in this range here. Would have been one of these highs on this trend line. So it's just another thing that matches up very well. I did, RXA. I did. I almost got stopped out too, but I didn't. I got my stops in slight profit right now. That's the first trade I made in a while, since last Friday. It was 38.5 is where I got my trade in. 39 was my stops. I put that in the Discord this morning. You think 1K Ethereum is possible? I think lower than 1K Ethereum is possible, honestly. What did you say? B wave completed. You talking about this here? Talk about this being an ABC? This is an ABC possibility. I've talked about that for a long time, but I'm really starting to change my mind about that and really starting to look towards that Amazon bubble pop. It's just, I mean, the count is the same. Everything is the same. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Your TA is very contrary to mine, but I'm noticing it's because of the context of your time frames. Your TA is informed by a time context that is bigger than what my brain does. All right. Biggest crash ever after March meeting, somebody said. Possibly. I've been saying that I think the biggest money grab in history is coming, meaning they're going to take everybody's money out of the market and put it in their pocket. So just be careful, guys. I'm going to head out. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to smash the like, subscribe if you haven't already. I do daily videos, daily updates. Follow me on Twitter, all that jazz. Make sure to smash the likes and tick your notification bells so you don't. Joe said, my wife loves the store. Ink your image. Awesome. Yeah, that's another thing. Check out the links down below, guys. I don't shill a bunch of different exchanges and all that. I only put down below the things I actually use and approve. Thanks, guys. Take it easy. I'm out.